Hello YouTube, Matt here with Man Reviews, and today we are looking at Mora Knives. You may not have heard of Mora before. They are a Swedish knife maker, widely available on Amazon. They've got a few different knives, we've got a couple of them here. So this one is the Mora Basic and this is the Companion. As the name suggests, obviously the Basic is the more basic and cheaper one. Both come in this little plastic sheaths, which I'll come on to in a minute. So with the Basic, you get a pretty solid plastic handle, which even for pretty big hands like I have, you know, you still get a decent grip there. And you've got the stainless steel blade. So you can see this one's had a little bit of use. But the great thing about these is you can get them back to shaving sharp in no time. I don't know if you can see it says stainless there, made in Sweden. So they are actually Swedish made, they're not a Swedish company making things in China or anything like that. So that one is the Basic. This one's had a little bit more rough use than the Companion. So stick the Basic there, bring the Companion out. So sort of the next step up the Companion, sheaths maybe a little bit nicer, but the main difference is that you do get a rubberized handle on here, which is a little bit nicer for the grip. Don't get the finger guard that you get on the Basic, so you know, maybe something to consider. But the handle is super grippy, so you shouldn't have any problems. Blade length's a little bit longer, as you can see. It's also a little bit thicker and sort of a heavier duty knife. Again, stainless steel, made in Sweden. So there we go. Just going back to the sheaths, they look a little bit sort of cheap and plastically, but they do clip in really well and they don't come out. They really are solid little sheaths. So you've got the belt clip on the back there. You've got this string arrangement, which is apparently for putting them onto like the button on work trousers. So if you want to do that, then obviously you can with these sheaths. So that's good. The Companion there, and the Basic sheath is pretty similar. You just pop it in, clips it in place. So this one is a little bit more battered, but still going pretty well. Great thing about these knives, they've got what's called a Scandi grind. So it's hard to see, but you've got the flat piece of the blade here, and then it comes down in one large sort of angle to a point. So that means you've got essentially a very large bevel, and there's no additional micro bevel on the end. It is just all down from that angle there. Quite different to any other knife, any sort of European standard style knife. Something like, I've got the Victorinox Bantam here. Even though it does slope down from the top, at the end you do have, you can barely see it, what's called a micro bevel. A very small sort of angled piece. And obviously with that you can sharpen it with things like the Lansky sharpener, which I've shown before. With the Moras, you can't be using the Lansky sharpener because what you would do is put another bevel on the end. You don't want to do that, you want to keep the nice Scandi grind. However, it's not a negative because that large bevel does mean if you have your sharpening stone, you can rest very easily on the bevel. So if you're pretty new to stone sharpening, you get your knife, literally just go like that until you feel the bevel, and then you can begin to move up and down. So much easier than if you have, say, the Bantam, getting that on the stone, trying to rest it on such a tiny bevel. It's really difficult to maintain a consistent angle. Well, at least for me it is anyway. With the Mora knife, obviously massive bevel, you can really learn your sharpening skills on this no problem. So even an idiot like me can get this super sharp. They do come though really sharp out the box. So instead of grinding up and down, taking loads of metal off, what I would recommend is use your knife a bit. If it gets a bit blunt, put it on the stone and just strop it. So you can just take tiny amounts off, and that will get it really sharp. Alternatively, you can even just use a strop. Obviously I've put a bit of compound on here, and you just get it and just do that, and that really is enough get these things super sharp. Got a piece of paper knocking around here, internet test, but there you go, you can slice your paper, no problem. And as I say, this is far from a pristine knife. We've got a few little dings and everything in there, so if it was new, you'd probably be doing a bit better. This one might be in slightly better shape. We do that, there you go. So yeah, really good, and as I say, really easy to learn how to sharpen, which is just such a great thing, because you know, learning to whetstone sharpen is not that easy. At least I didn't find it that easy. So great knife to sharpen on, great knife to learn on. Also, they're a really tough little knife. You can give them a good bit of abuse and they come back for more, and you can just keep going. Place you'd use this, I mean, maybe if you're out camping, that kind of thing, obviously you can use these, but even just around the garden, you know, cutting down little plants, that kind of thing. They originally started out as woodwork knives, so that's what their original purpose would be. Get a piece of wood like this, you can just easily cut through. I mean, look at that, it's just effortless to cut just a corner off a piece of wood. It's not easy really, you know, it's a tough thing. So that's something worth bearing in mind. The other thing I'd say is price. This knife here, and I've had this a long time, it's had a lot of abuse and it's never given us any problems. I think it's under £9 on Amazon at the moment. A little bit more for the Companion, I think they're just under 12. I'll pop some links down so you can see where they are at the moment, but as I say, just incredible value for money. When you think of all the other rubbish knives that are out there on Amazon for more money and they're no good, these two definitely recommend. I've got this stone I was using, it's a bare Moo Stone, got that off Amazon as well. It's a 1000 or 4000 grit. That's perfectly sufficient for the Moras. You don't need the real hard, rough stones like the 300 grit. As long as you keep them in pretty good condition, you can bring them back to sharp even with such a smooth stone as that. So yeah, all in all, highly recommend you get yourselves a couple of Moras, give them a go, put them in your garage, use and abuse them, and learn some sharpening skills as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. As I say, I'll put the links to these two and the stone in the description, and yeah, go and get yourself a Mora. Okay.